Hi, this is Rob Schulte. I'm going to do the part one summary of The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. Um, the first question is discuss the methods of habit formation in individuals. So the author illustrates the way habits are formed by talking about lab rats. So these lab rats were taken and put into a maze, and then in this maze there was also food placed in there, and it was behind a trap door. And the rat really couldn't physically get to the food until this door was raised up. And when it was raised up, it would make a click noise. So the rat learned when they heard the click noise, they get to the food. So that was their cue. Click noise, they can get the food. Routine is how they get to the food, the route they take. The reward would be eat the food. Um, then the researchers also they talked about, the author, I'm sorry, talked about how the basal ganglia is kind of in charge of that middle part of the process, the routine part. The routine part requires little thought. It's very habitual. You just do it because you do it. Um, so to put this in a millennial, my point of view would be like cell phones. So I have my phone in my pocket and it vibrates, which I know is like, hey, you get a notification, something's happening on your phone. So the cue would be it vibrates. The habit part, part of the habit, I guess, the routine part would be to look at my phone and see what happened, and the reward would be to get gratification from understanding what happened. Um, so the routine part, to go back to the basal ganglia, is very from the older part of your brain. It's habitual. The routine part is just written memory to get to the reward, because the reward is where it's at. Um, the next question is discuss the methods of habit change in individuals. The author of the book illustrates how Pepsodent, which is a type of toothpaste, um, started the whole toothpaste industry. Before Pepsodent, there was not a need for toothpaste. People lived with grimy teeth. It was normal to them. They didn't see a problem in it. So, what the advertisers for the Pepsodent company had to do was create a problem. So what they would say is, rub your tongue against your teeth. Do you feel that nasty grime? That is a problem. With our toothpaste, you can brush your teeth and have clean, like smooth teeth. Anyway, so they created a routine. Fill your teeth is the cue. You feel that grime, brush your teeth is the habit, or I'm sorry, using habit is the routine part, and then the reward would be clean teeth. So they created a whole industry based upon um, people feeling like they could have clean teeth. Um, that feeling of, I got the reward, I got that clean teeth feeling. Um, they didn't really create a problem. They did create a problem actually. They created a problem and they've found out a solution to their own problem. They created. That's great advertising. Um, so, um, and then it says discuss the methods of habit change in individuals. Yeah, so I went over that. And then the third question is apply the concept to a patient or yourself. So, say I have a patient who states to me, like, hey, I'm routinely late to work, makes a lot of anxiety in my life. That whole morning is hectic. I get to work, my boss is upset with me that I'm late, my coworkers are too. And I, as a clinician, could be like, hey, are you preparing for work the night before? And they're like, my patient would be like, no, I'm not. And I could be like, well, you could start a routine. You could start a new habit of routine where 15 minutes before you go to bed, you put your keys in the same spot. You pick out what you're going to wear the next day. You prep your food. You figure out what you want to eat for lunch. Do all that the night before, so that when you wake up in the morning, the, you have a smooth transition from waking up to getting to work. So really what it is, you have a cue 15 minutes before going to bed the night before, you make a plan, you get ready for work, and then the routine part is doing it, and then The reward would be getting to work and having no stress and a boss that's happy to see you there on time, you making a smooth transition into work. Um, and the last part of the reading kind of talked about the golden rules of habit change. And the golden rule has to do with like other people, basically. The golden rule has to do with like replacing routines is easier whenever you place that routine that makes the reward that makes enhances the reward. So let's say you get home from work, you want to relax, so you have a cigarette, and the reward is that you get to relax. Well, the cue is you get home from work, and the routine could be simple. It could be I go for a walk, and the reward would be I went for a walk and I got to see my neighbors and wave to people and look at all the beautiful things going on in my neighborhood, and that's the reward. So basically, you have the same cue and the same reward. The only difference is instead of having a cigarette by yourself, the reward would be you interacted with other people, other things. You made it about something bigger than yourself. So the golden rule of habit change is always when the routine is about other people and not about yourself, something you believe in, then you get better results.